Good morning, Texas bikers and bikers all across the nation. This is Texas Biker Radio, and my name is Butch Popeye Moss. This morning we have a treat for you. We've got an interview with Abel Reyna. We've been asking him to step forward and interview with us. Well, guess what? He's finally here. So let's get on with the interview. Good morning, Mr. Reyna. We are glad that you've decided to step up and have a dialogue with the bikers. So let's get started.
I'm reluctant to do this interview, but my campaign is in turmoil. So my campaign manager said I should take you bikers head on.
Well, okay, Mr. Reyna, we think we could certainly go toe-to-toe with you. We do have truth on our side, but I want to start with the most recent activity put out by your campaign, and that's the fact that, you threw your wife and son under the bus. You, a college-educated man, made a tearful plea that your family lives under duress, that you fear for your lives all the time, that you have to teach your wife code, that you have to teach your wife how to tell if she's being followed. And then you put an image of them in the form of a video in that ad and plastered it all over YouTube, Facebook, everywhere else. We think you have put your family in danger if you really fear for your lives and think that the boogeyman is coming to get you. Now, we realize that you do send criminals to jail, but let me tell you one thing. A biker would never hurt a child. Yours or anyone else's would never hurt a child purposely. And for that, I'm holding you responsible for the safety of your family.
Well, that wasn't the best ad in the world. We had to practice a lot. But we do live in fear and we do use code. For instance, if I call home, my wife will answer Uno. Which means one person is holding her hostage. Uno, tres means my wife and son are both held hostage by one person, so on and so on. As far as my wife and son being in the video, they know the risks. We practice safe security.
Mr. Reyna, do you know that you just announced to any criminal out there the codes that you and your wife are using?
Oh crap, my bad.
Mr. Reyna, do you really believe that all bikers are criminals? The 177 people you arrested at Twin Peaks on May 17, 2015? Do you really believe that?
Well, according to the FBI and DPS, they all fit their profile. Bikers are mean, wear vests with patches, have tattoos, and ride motorcycles with loud pipes. Oh, and they drink beer, lots of beer. They came to town and wanted to fight. So, our gang, which was hiding out of sight, is bigger and badder than their gang. Whooped ass. So, I saw a chance to make my move, pushed the Waco PD out of the way.
So what you're saying is you hoodwinked the police chief and the assistant police chief and took the investigation away from skilled police investigators who were trying to sort things out. That's what you're saying, right?
That was the easy part. The police chief was on vacation. I felt the assistant chief had no balls to stand up to me. I was right. I am a skilled investigator too. Screw the Waco PD. I read a book about Sherlock Holmes once which prepared me for this task. So if I can get past this primary, I'm moving on up.
Interesting, Mr. Reyna. Do you even know any bikers? Do you know anything about the MC culture, or 1% culture for that matter? We're just asking. We think it's a legitimate question.
To be honest with you, no. I've never associated with bikers. My daddy would not let me have a motorcycle when I was young. I wanted a Vespa scooter really bad, to tool around at BU. As far as 1% clubs go, I depend on the FBI to form my opinions on them. Bandidos bad. Cossacks bad. Human trafficking. Sex slaves. Drugs, says the DPS. Motorcycle clubs in general a threat to us all.
Now, Mr. Reyna, let's get realistic. Just how many sex slaves do you think you can carry on a motorcycle? Human trafficking, running up and down the highways? Really?
Oh yes, DPS reports you can carry whole families on a scooter. Happens all the time in Cosmal, the Philippines. Ever see a loaded bike in Bangladesh? They can carry a lot of shit. So what could a powerful Harley do?
Mr. Reyna, have you ever seen such a thing with your own eyes?
No.
Now, Mr. Reyna, you know information from the DPS and the FBI are not reliable, right? Even the current police chief testified under oath that they take information from the confidential informants and undercovers with a grain of salt.
Well, it's what I have to work with. Even though it's not perfect. As far as the chief goes, he threw us under the bus with that testimony. But luckily you are the only ones that mentioned it, on Texas Biker Radio.
So, Mr. Reyna, you listen to our programs and go to our websites.
Yes we do, it's the only reliable source of news pertaining to bikers.
Let's talk Sergeant Swanton for a second. Just hours after you had completed arresting 177 people and charging them all with the same cookie-cutter crimes, how did he come up with that story? And did you have any part in it?
No, that moron had no part, other than doing what he was told to do and say, it's all he's good for. I was in charge totally. And I was in charge of the narrative. That stupid son of a bitch thought he was going to piggyback off of my show and become sheriff. Frontline officer, my ass.
Mr. Reyna, did you really think bikers were coming to Waco to cause all kinds of hell? May 17th, 2015. Did you really believe any of that you guys said?
It's what the DPS put out. It just happened to fit the narrative I wanted. As far as truth goes, you go ask them. Hell, I can't get anything out of them nowadays. Not even evidence for discovery. Seems like everyone is working to sabotage my trials.
Mr. Reyna, let's talk about your show trial. Jake Carrizal, the trial that you and Judge Struthers gerrymandered to be first. Let's talk about that for a bit.
Let me say one thing. That was not my fault. Jarrett and my staff fucked that up. I gave them all the tools and evidence to win.
So now you're blaming all of this on the staff, this mistrial. I mean, is this a campaign trick?
Well, who was presenting the case against Carrizal most of the time? My assistant prosecutors. Wasn't me. You even called me a toad for sitting so much. Beside, I haven't really presented that many criminal cases before a judge. I'm usually busy with my other programs and rich donors.
Mr. Reyna, have you ever met a bandito or a Cossack? I mean, it's been said that during trial and that these guys are actually more likable than you are. That you kind of come across as an arrogant prick.
Outside the courtroom, no. I can't control what people think or say about me. If they don't like me, they can eat shit. I'm going to send every biker I can to prison, and if they want to avoid that, they had better come talk to me and make a deal.
Well, that hasn't worked very well over the past 3 years, has it? Can you say Scooter Bergman?
Just know I can keep delaying trial dates and making maneuvers to punish them without a trial. I've been fucking them for 3 years and I can keep it going as long as I'm DA. That Scooter Bergman is crazy. We gave him a great deal. Then he turned around and fucked up my plans. So I agreed to delay his trial for 180 days.
So what does that mean for Scooter Bergman now?
Are you shitting me? I can't tell you. That's between me and his lawyer.
Well, there's no sense in getting obtuse about it. So what's your plans now going forward?
Number 1. Vilify the hell out of my opponent Barry Johnson as the bikers candidate. Vilify the hell out of bikers. Create fear among the people of McLennan County. Stay out of court. Avoid disqualification hearings using every method I can. Get past the primaries. I do that. I will be successful no matter what you guys do.
You know we're coming down Sunday, February 25th, in front of the courthouse for a freedom rally. And you know what we're bringing with us? We're bringing the Constitution. We're bringing the Bible. We're bringing a boatload of truth, Abel, Reyna. A boatload of truth.
We know you're coming. We read your shit. You believe in the Constitution. So that makes you and your crew dangerous to this county. And the way we do things. We have the people and minorities in their place. We had it made till the bikers came to town. Now people are looking around. The media is asking questions. Suspecting us of corruption. I'm not a crook. Sure, I gave a few people some breaks. So what? Crime is down.
Mr. Reyna, I got a news flash for you. Crime is down all over Texas. Not just in McLennan County. That's the truth of it. But you're doing what you're doing off the backs of the innocent. And we're going to expose you for what you are. You are the one that's dangerous. You.
Well. Come on. Remember, my gang is bigger than your gang. There's nobody coming with you. Because I have created fear among the ranks of bikers.
For the past 3 years, you've been making miscalculations. Don't make a mistake now. Don't think we live in a state of fear. 3 years and no biker came to talk to you? Jake Carizal stood up to you? Scooter Bergman has stood up to you? I think that says a lot about our community. You're going to find that we do not live in a state of fear. You're going to find out that bikers, veteran bikers, even the people of McLennan County will stand up. They've had enough. Everyone's had enough. We've seen enough of the corruption that goes on in that courthouse and in your office that we're coming to make a stand, and you can't stop us.
Like I said, you are dangerous. I have nothing more to say other than, fuck you.
Such thin skin, Mr. Reyna. If anybody's going to do any fucking, it's going to be us on Sunday afternoon.